your partner, your spouse should be like somebody that you would go to war with. I think that we'd be a really good team because we know jujitsu. So watch out.
If someone's having a bad day, like this thing is still moving.
In that moment, is that helpful or hurtful to the situation? Instead of just avoiding that person or that thing, like just fully dive in and help them, help your partner get back to where you know they're capable of being.
Welcome to the 7 Figure Salon podcast with Rachel and Drew. I'm Drew.
I'm Rachel.
Welcome to the show. Pardon my super scratchy voice. I got something going on.
He's going through puberty.
Going through the puberty again. I was a late bloomer. I was. I didn't like... I was like 20.
Little guy.
I was 4'11" in high school, you guys. Little dude.
I wouldn't have gone on a date.
Well, I was.
Come talk to me in 10 years.
The girls thought I was cute, you know. And that wasn't
4'11".
4'11", like sophomore.
And how tall are you now?
I'm solid 6 foot, even on the dot. Fat
with your Nikes.
With my shoes on.
Yeah.
5'11" and a half. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. It's
so,
like I get made fun of from every time like a doctor, like they're like almost there. Thanks.
Well, fun fact: Drew and I actually met on Bumble, and It was in the midst of 2020, and we met on Bumble, and of course, and that was like literally the only time I had really been on a dating app in my life, and I matched with this handsome fella over here, and his bio said that he was 6 foot. Well, when I went to meet him, I was like, he is not 6 foot. He opened the door and I was like,
I don't think I had shoes on, and then my beard was gone. I was a mess.
Yeah, and he actually, in his bio, also had facial hair, very similar to what you guys see here. But that night when we met, he had just fresh shaved, and I felt like I got duped. I was just like,
that's the only time I've probably ever totally shaven my face too.
It's the only time I've seen you without facial hair, and your cheeks were so white, and and then you were like you were shorter, and I was just like, this was my first dating app experience, and I was like, I feel like I got duped. But you sounded the same. I knew it was you, but it was just like it was just different. But anyway, obviously, we are married and we have a beautiful life and beautiful family, and the rest is history.
And I grew my beard back.
Yes, you did.
Quickly.
Thank you.
I was trying to shave before she got there. As you know, and guys, fellas, listening to this, you know better than to like try and trim your beard up as you're going out the door. Don't do that. Do it at night before bed.
And use a guard.
Use a guard. I did not use a guard. And a huge, because usually if there's like a little bit of a patch, you're like, I'm just going to roll with it. I can just comb it over. No, it was, I had to shave my whole face. It was really bad. And I was trying to figure out, and I shaved it down like, should I do it like this? Goatees are terrible on me. Full mustache, super weird on me. And I just had to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like your outfit today. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. Is that the jacket I got you?
It's the jacket that I got me.
What the heck? Where is that thing?
It's in the closet. It's just a little bit like, no, I don't. I don't hate it. I like it. It's just like a little bit longer. And so I feel like I don't know. I feel like I need to, because I wanted to wear my Nikes today, and it was a hat kind of day.
You're wearing your Jordans?
I am. My Pandas.
Me too.
They're called Pandas. Yep. I don't know if I can.
I'm really getting into Jordans. I'm watching like sneaker videos and like, oh.
Yeah. But thank you. I like my outfit too, I guess.
Got the hat. It's good.
Got the Orbe hat. Yep.
I should be wearing a hat today. Podcast days are hat days because
It's Friday. So, and also we are getting a couple's massage and facial in a couple hours. So I just was like, there wasn't really a point of me doing my hair and then for it to get all messed up getting a massage and facial. So
facials hurt.
I love facials. Facials are my favorite. I would rather get that than a massage, honestly. So yeah, that's actually what we're getting done first.
They pick on your face and everything?
They got to steam you first.
Ugh.
But when you get your face picked on often, there's not as much to do.
Weirdos, they like it.
Yeah, well,
they're those people.
My mom's a medical esthetician, and she's great at what she does, and she gets really into what she's doing. But yeah, just important. Like usually once a month we'll do like a couples day, and so that usually lands the first weekend of the month, and so that's what we're doing today. So we have a couple of appointments lined up because if we didn't line them up, they would not happen. So it's on the calendar. It's gonna happen.
Gonna have to do my BJJ stuff tomorrow.
Yes.
morning. I didn't bring any of my stuff.
Yeah. So BJJ is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For those of you guys that are like, what is that? So Drew started Jiu-Jitsu first. He started, was it like June of, 2020.
It's May, June.
Well, I don't know. But he's been doing it about probably 6 or so months, 9 months longer than me. And I've been doing it almost a year. And yeah, so we typically, you can find us at Grappler's Lab or Renzo Gracie.
Yep. Renzo.
Oh. You can find us at Renzo Gracie. It's not Renzo?
No.
Why is there an R?
It's with H.
Henzo? Like what? Like a. Okay.
Henzo.
Start over. You can find his way.
Anyway, on Monday and Wednesday, apparently I have pronounced the name of our gym that I've been going to for a year incorrectly this whole time. It's Henzo, not Renzo. So Henzo Gracie on Mondays and Wednesday nights, and sometimes Fridays. Drew mostly goes on Fridays. I like to go to the gym on Fridays, but more of a bougie gym kind of girl. But yeah. So yeah, we're gonna skip that today. Go do facials and massages. And just relax a bit. We like to do this the first weekend of every month because we work really hard and, we need to
We've been working
reset.
Super hard.
I was actually thinking this morning, I was like, I don't think that I've actually had a day off, and it has to be close to 4 weeks. I think it has to be at least 4 weeks because we've had 2 trips, went to California, went to Florida. I guess last weekend, if you considered Saturday a day off, but I was like dance momming it like all day. We were at the competition with Kinsey, and then we filmed on Sunday. So I have not had a day off in probably 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
and the day off at home usually looks like
cleaning, organizing.
you're just like running a gun. And
I gotta reset the whole house though, because like for me to have a good week, I have to have the fridge has to be restocked. It has to be like colorful, organized. I even have I have labels in the fridge that's supposed to help everyone know where things are supposed to go. But
theoretically,
the kids just put them everywhere. And then getting all of our water restocked. Making sure the car is clean, that everything is just picked up. Because if there's like stuff everywhere, I have a hard time thinking clearly. Like it just becomes stressful. So it has to be clean, orderly, and then that way there's not like if I don't have a lot of tabs open in our personal life of like unfinished things, then I can be like totally all up in business land Monday through Friday and get stuff done.
Yeah.
So what? I love you.
Ask me a question. Like throw something back over here.
Oh, okay. How would you describe being married to me?
So, being married to Rachel it's exciting, it's challenging, it's amazing. It's she expects a level of human, as do most people. But with what we're doing, like she's really helped me grow into the person that I am. That's what it's like being married to you. So I couldn't do what I'm doing or be who I am without you.
I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you.
That's definitely something that a lot of anybody that has like known you and then known me like separately and then like us together, I think that like even like our family or even like your best friend Derek, it's just like I think everyone just kind of seeing like the progression of like the journey of our relationship and to marriage and to family and to and then obviously like simultaneously like building businesses and combining forces and all that. I think it's just a cool movie for a lot of people in our close like circle to see. And then also like I feel like we don't necessarily press rewind and watch the movie ourselves too often, but if we did for a second like now, I think we could be like, oh yeah, like there's some cool shit that we've done. And there was this I don't know if I shared it with you. It was on Instagram. It was this video and it says like like your partner, your spouse should be like somebody that you would go to war with. Like, that is like, I think that, I mean, who knows what would happen in the world, but I think that we'd be a really good team.
Yeah.
Because we know jujitsu. So watch out.
So if you lose all of our weapons and it goes to the ground, we can heal ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think it's also just like our sheer will to just win in whatever we're doing, like, or lose. If we lose, but we're like we don't just like throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Or if you are having a rough week and like maybe not being your best self, or vice versa, like just kind of like you're wounded in battle, if you will. And me too. It's like, you know, just like throw me over your shoulder, like we're still going. You know, it's like
we're going for it. That's we do that.
Yeah.
When one of us, that's really well said. Is if someone's having a bad day, like this thing is still moving. You know.
Well, like our life, yeah.
Yeah, like example.
Yeah.
Being married to you. Here's what it's like. Here's what happened. I was sick. I was super sick. And we had a trip planned.
I didn't know you were that sick. I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have thrown you over my shoulder.
I really don't. I'm not a big like complainer. Like I'll kind of, you know, about myself. You know, I might express worries and things, but like complaining, like I kind of don't. But I was sick, and I was like, "We have a trip coming up." I'm like, "Great, I'm sick. Like I'm cold, I'm hot.
Next day.
I'm in bed. Like we're going the next day, and I'm like in bed with a hoodie, freezing." And she's like, "We're going." We're going to California. I'm like, Rach, I'm sick.
I'm like, I'll pack you.
It's fine.
We'll go.
That's great, Drew.
But I gave you...
Getting on the plane.
I gave you medicine. I went and bought all the homeopathic things. I got you little...
well, that's when I was like...
Little juice shots.
Like, I appreciated it, but at the same time, I was like, shit, we're going.
Well, here's the thing. And also, if I knew you were that sick, I wouldn't have pushed it. Because you were just kind of like, I don't know, I'm not feeling so good. And I was just like, just sleep. And I like handled the kids and everything. And I was like, just sleep, you'll feel better, you know. But yeah, I mean, obviously, had we not gone on our trip, who knows what
that was
we
a
would
great
have
trip.
missed out on. It was a great trip.
A lot of opportunities. I met a lot of people, and I felt better. Like once we went, wasn't out of the woods.
And then I got sick.
And you got sick, and now I sound like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot what it's like in our world a little bit.
I think it's just a supportive, because I don't know, if you think about what love is, yes, it's patient, it's kind, it doesn't keep a record of wrong, you know, like all of those things. But I also think that love is, there's also like another side to it where you want to hold that other person that you love, like you want to see them like experience everything, and you want to see them reach their full potential. And like, you know, if I'm I don't know, if I'm upset about something, or if I'm, you know, down, like, which there was definitely several months last year I was down, like you want to, instead of just like avoiding that person or that thing, like just fully dive in and like help your partner like get back to where you know they're capable of being, you know. And that's kind of when either of us are going through stuff, like I think we do a good job of doing that with each other. Yeah.
And over the years, she's you know, I used to say this prayer about me. I was very like hardened and cold and distant to people. Like I was always friendly, but I wasn't really like, now you can drop me in a room and I'm going to come out of the room with 10 contacts, opportunities. Like I'm going to meet all these people. I'm going to get along, and I love it. And that's why I like going to these events, and we'll kind of deploy me into a room, and then I'll go figure out where me and Rachel need to be in that room.
Yeah.
And then we'll make friends. And then Rachel's pretty quiet for a while, and then she'll be like, okay, I trust these people now. I'm gonna talk, you know. And then she starts going. But
then I don't shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, you lost them 20 minutes ago, you know. But being married has really like warmed me up, especially with like the kids and being a dad to 4 kids, and you know, the adoption's final as
of last Wednesday.
Yeah. So
Yep.
the judge leaned in. He's like, "They're yours." He looked me in the eye, and he's like, "They're yours." I was like, "Whoa, that's heavy, bro." But I've always felt like they're mine. But to have a judge lean in, like,
And that's when he forgot to sign the order.
and then not me, the judge.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I reached out to Danny and I was just like,
Hey guys.
I had just reached out and I'm
What
like,
up?
hey, I'm trying to go to the Social Security office to like finalize everything and I don't have the documents. Like, where are the documents? And she's like, you would not believe that the judge didn't sign the documents. And I'm like, we went through all that.
It was the
like,
whole day.
Like the whole thing. Like all of us celebrate pictures.
We have a
I have
picture
a
with him.
picture with the judge and the dude didn't sign the paperwork.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Curveball.
So yeah.
There's always curveballs.
I was like, well,
yes.
I'm glad I asked. Like, oh my gosh. And so anyways, hopefully we can get that today because I had planned to go to the Social Security office today to update everything. So anyway, but yeah, it's in our life, it's been like just big milestones that we kind of, and none of these things we like even initially talked about in the very beginning. Like we just kind of naturally like just we're navigating life just like I think everybody else, but like not afraid to go like head on towards something pretty big.
Mm-hmm. You have to. Otherwise you're not going to get shit, you know.
Should we share what we're working on now?
Which thing? What's wrong with your eye?
The project, you know, the project that we're working on.
Your eyes.
It's made of trees.
It's made of trees. Money?
No.
Money's made of trees.
Sure.
Not really anymore. It's a database now. I'm down to share. I'm open book. Go ahead, share away.
Book.
We're writing a book.
Don't say any details.
You can't just share something and then not share.
But don't share the.
She does that, guys. See that? She does that.
We're dropping a carrot. Don't share like.
We're just going to tell you enough to piss you off.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
No, but we're going to, this is a squeaky chair. I'm sorry. We're going to write a book. So we did a publishing deal and we are going to be going somewhere probably around Texas just to get like Airbnb or something like that. And we're going to crank out a book to deep dive because we can't tell all the details of our family's story and Rachel's story on a podcast. I guess we can, but it really needs to be written, you know, and you write pretty well, honestly. And then I will probably be dictating most of my contribution to the book. I speak better than I write. Mm-hmm. I can speak pretty well.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Drew is the king of typos. That's for sure.
It's pretty. I get stressed out in there. I was like, let me just talk to someone. Let me get on a call. Let's talk it out.
Yeah.
Let's go get coffee.
So I want to just apologize to the whole audience here if they've ever. Josh does our captions in our podcast episodes now because Drew's not so good at the spelling in the spelling game.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, won spelling bees in elementary school, so I can spell. That's for sure. But you know, when you've got a partner, life partner, spouse, you know, it's like you should really consider like getting someone to that, like, you know, it's like kind of, I don't know, like weird to say, but like you complete me. Like you want to find somebody that does have like the strengths that you may not otherwise have. Because
what movie was that?
I don't know. Is it The Notebook? I don't know.
No, the great movie.
I have no idea. I don't really watch movies.
Sobbed on that movie. I did.
What?
The Notebook.
Oh, was it?
You've never seen the?
I just said The Notebook, and you said it wasn't The Notebook.
No, I'm not like a big crier in movies. That like.
No, I remember that. I remember it vaguely.
We'll get you.
Yeah. But yeah, that
and Budweiser commercials with the horses.
And The Shack.
The Shack. Oh no, I won't watch it.
Have you seen The Shack,
seen it.
Josh? You should watch The Shack. Anyway,
you should go cry. That's what she's saying.
It was like,
it was funny because
we were like sitting, like laying there on the couch, and he had his arm around me, and I'm like, oh my god, he's crying, and I'm like, I mean, I think every woman wants to know that her man is capable of crying.
It's rare.
Yeah, because it's like okay, there's a heart in there. You know what I mean?
And I'm pissed because I'm crying too. I'm like,
he's like, there's something in my eye.
Stupid movie. It's fake.
It was a great movie.
I'm pissed that a fake movie made me cry.
It wasn't fake. It was a good movie. But anyway, just having someone to do life with, because if you think about it, like if you're married, even if your spouse is not your business partner or whatever, like they're the business partner in your life. They're the personal life partner. So, it's important that you guys like really work on that, and actually recently I had gotten a couple of like there's several people that I've seen online that are getting a divorce right now, and it makes me really sad. Like it really makes me sad. And I don't know I know there's like lots of people out there that are like yeah, you do you, he sucks or whatever. I'm just like I'm not that girl. So like if someone ever comes to me and they're going through something like that, like I'm like genuinely like very sad for like their family and their situation, because I've gone through that like horrible like process of like the person, the father of your children not being there, and like that's such a huge change. So and I think that's probably why it is so important to me that we like, number one, that our marriage is strong, and because that really sets the stage for everything else.
What did you send me the other day? Because it's tough. Like working with your spouse, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's difficult.
Not at all.
But she sent me this thing because anytime like we get into a tiff, like we both want to resolve it.
It happens
we don't,
for sure.
We don't want to harbor. Like I cannot harbor things. Like it's painful for me to hold on to any sort of resentment. It's just so loud and gets in the way of anything. I can't think. I can't do anything. So we had a tiff, but we want to resolve it, and we want our kids to see that like, hey, relationships aren't perfect, but we always resolve these things, And then what was the thing that you sent me? So
it was actually a scripture, and it says, "If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand." And that's Mark 3:25. So that was just like the verse. I swear, the verse of the day that ends up popping up on my phone. On days like that, it's like just boom, it's always like meant for me. So that one was like, if a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Like that is, and I was like, man, if there's ever a scripture that stopped me in my tracks, it was that one. And that's exactly, why I wanted to share it with him. And I think it hit my phone like the day after we had a disagreement
the next morning.
And then also there's another one that I shared with him, or maybe it was you. Maybe you sent this to me. Remember, you asked for growth. Don't be surprised when life challenges you.
Yeah, I said that.
And that's important to remember, because, as you are building your life and as we build our business, it is definitely like there's always new challenges. It's like Oprah, like you get a challenge. I mean, it's just like they're everywhere. There's challenges
that's what growth
everywhere.
Is.
Yes.
You can't grow without doing the things you got to do to grow.
Well, it's constant refinement, and I do think that a big piece of like our life that at least is important to me that I find with you is comedy. Like you make me laugh all the time. And I'm like looking at some of the stupid things that I send you, but it's like I'm like, my humor usually comes in the form of a GIF, or you making fun of me for something such as yesterday.
I want to tell him.
Oh, you're gonna?
No, I'm awkwardly pausing to see if you'll let me tell him.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's what happened,
I
world.
will let him make fun of me for y'all's.
I'm not making
for
fun
y'all's
of my wife.
pleasure. So buckle up.
I'm not making fun of my wife. I'm just telling you the truth. So I'm a truth teller.
This is probably the worst thing that I've ever had happen lately.
This is great. So she's just been, we've been
I'm just scared to go.
We've just been working so hard, like been just in the weeds. Got the event coming up. We're excited and terrified at the same time with this event.
I'm not terrified.
A lot of money on. I'm terrified.
I'm not.
But we got to figure out how to ascend everyone. She's confident in my ability. I think. I got to literally build it. So basically, in working, go. Yesterday, she goes to the restroom. She comes back in. She's like tidying up the lobby and doing her thing. And I see out of the corner, I'm eating lunch. Like I have to eat lunch on the go. I like to like take a minute and sit there and just kind of think and eat. As she's sprinting around the office, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, kind of catches my eye, because your eye is drawn to movement, right? Human eye is drawn to movement. Remember that. So I'm like, there's no way I'm seeing what I'm seeing on my wife right now. No way. So I turn around and I look, and she's like, what? And I still don't say anything. And I'm still processing.
And I'm like, what?
She's looking around.
I'm like thinking I sat in something. I don't know.
Doesn't see it. And I'm, what did I say? What did I say to you?
You get your life together, Rach.
She has a toilet paper tail hanging out of her pants. Right? Like a foot of it. Not on her shoe.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were trying to tell me.
No,
and I'm like
I was
looking at my feet. Like,
no,
what?
and I had the thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not even on her shoe. It's hanging out the pants.
Okay. And so as I'm like, obviously immediately mortified, and I'm like
crying, laughing though.
I was crying.
Like
and
we were
my
both crying,
mascara
laughing.
was everywhere. And I had a meeting that I was supposed to be on, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I'm like literally like a freaking magic trick. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Also scary time for me. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay. So I realized, was it last night? I finally realized like how that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a germaphobe. If you've met me, you know. And I of course, like I absolutely hate when bathrooms, had we built out our own bathroom here, we would have had seat protectors. And if you guys have been to my salons, you know we have seat protectors. So there are no seat protectors in these restrooms. I don't understand it, but I always line and make my own around the seat. And so I did that. And I think as I was standing up, pulling up my jeans, because, got a butt, and I'm shimmying, getting my jeans up, that piece of toilet paper just somehow, I don't know how, it just kind of just
hopped in there.
It was like a, like an ATM. It just kind of it just came up into my pants. And then that happened. And I was very glad that it was something like that, and it wasn't like anything else. But it was like, because I was like so confused. I was like, well, I blew my nose too, but like I crumpled it, and and I don't know. It just
So that makes sense though. Makes sense, and I'm glad we figured it out.
Yeah, because it would have kept me up last night thinking about it. Really, so embarrassing.
That was probably the most embarrassed I've ever seen her. I was embarrassed also for her in the moment. There's a lot of red faces.
He was just like, I gotta go.
And Rachel's super conservative, you guys. Like Rachel's pretty good Christian mom, conservative woman kind of thing on everything, which makes it funnier to me.
I was so embarrassed. Keep comedy in your marriage, whether it's intentional or in this case not intentional. Have fun with each other. It's so important. And that way, if you do get into a tiff or a disagreement, and you can at least like just make light of like, you guys just naturally believe that the person that you're doing life with just really, they're not like, if you're gonna assume anything, try and assume that like they don't mean to be the way they're being or say what they're saying, like have the meaning of what they're saying mean what it means. And I think that you don't take each other like so seriously, and that way you can, like, I will say Drew's usually the one to apologize first, which I really appreciate, because in previous relationships that I've been in, I've just never had that and never like experienced that. It was it was more like an avoidance type thing. And so he usually, like, even if it's not even like necessarily his fault, he'll like extend the
olive branch.
Yeah. And then I'm like, thank you, and then we're fine, So that always means a lot when he does that.
Yeah. So again, like that's like having to eat my ego, like let that go, and then just like, okay, we got to resolve this, because like she said, like the house can't stand if there's not,
there's division.
There's division. So if we're arguing over division, and then I want to go, sure, I could shut it down and be cold and go, not speak for a week and disappear and go, get a whatever, but like that's not going to help. It's going to make things harder, and then you get a full division with a divorce. And that is way harder than whatever the crap you're dealing with.
Yeah, and that's like one of the things. Like I got like a Facebook message, and it was like this old friend like that was telling me about this thing that she was going through, and needs a girls' night, and I'm just kind of like, I am not the like go party with you girls' night girl. Like that's not me, So It just, especially when there's kids involved, like it just makes me sad when people go through stuff like that. So, and there's always like this fork in the road, I think, like whenever there is a disagreement in your marriage or a challenge in life or business or both, where it's like wherever you, like whatever decision you make, right? So let's say in the moment, maybe, Drew says something that's not so nice, or I say something that's not so nice or whatever. It's like, in that moment, is that helpful or hurtful to the situation? Like, are we just throwing gas on the situation? Because like that's going to blow up in everyone's face. And like that definitely doesn't help. But I think a lot of people, including us sometimes, like you're going to have human tendencies. Like you're going to be a human and you're going to make mistakes and screw up. And just trying to remind yourself and be more, intentional about what you're saying and what the result is of what you're saying. And that way you can try and just diffuse things. Because lighting it up and just like, let's torch it. Like that does not work.
I'm gonna be right
at all. Yeah. Doesn't work.
I gotta let go of being right. And once I can do that, then I can extend the olive branch. Because it's like, okay, don't approach it good, bad, right, or wrong. Because if you're right or wrong, that's what wars are created on. And it's not about right or wrong. It's about workability. So for me, as the older I've gotten, the more I look at things. I think like Eddie was talking about this, like a mentor that we look up to. And like I like looking at things statistically, and I'm like, okay, if I do this, let's look at the next week. Like that's gonna create this. Now, if I can do it like this, then that's gonna create a lot more workability for everyone. All kids. Our marriage, everything, because people come with, they're like packages. They come with more than just themselves, So your partner, or if you're married, that comes with your family, that comes with history, that comes with people. So usually divorces and people separate because honestly, what they're looking for is attention. So they implode this whole package thing that they've been building for years. That's why it's so sad. And then it's like someone dies. So when that happens, it's loss, because the version of you that loved that person cannot exist anymore. And then that it is a lot like death, So the version of you gone, version of them is gone. So that whole thing is does not exist. So then you go get some attention, and you get some more attention, and then you got nothing. You got a little bit of attention, when really all that person was really looking for in their marriage with the whole package was maybe a little bit of attention, but couldn't communicate it, because they wanted to be right or wrong or whatever. So that's a lot of the things. I don't know where I heard that. I definitely didn't make it up, but that was like, wow, that really creates the risk versus reward on like winning an argument or being right or something like that.
Yeah, when we were in Florida, and especially if you like, I mean, all of you guys that are listening to this likely own a business, and if you're on your phone and you're like checking something or responding to something or, making a decision, and you're next to your spouse or your partner or whatever, and, they can sometimes feel irritated by you being on your phone, or it almost seems like you're choosing the phone and what's on it, over them. And there was a time recently in Florida, like Drew was like, can you get off your phone? We're supposed to be doing date night, and or can you get off your phone? And I said, are you saying that you want to spend time with me? And he's like, yeah, I guess, yeah, that is what I'm saying, And so I think it was good for us, like for me to, instead of getting like on the defense and being a smart ass and firing back or whatever, I was questioning.
Well, you're listening. Like that was a really good listen,
I was like translating what he was saying into maybe like what he was trying to say, or like the result he wanted. And then he even said in that moment, he's like, that was good. Like, he's like, yeah, that is what I'm saying,
She was listening to behind what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. So
kind of weird. Yeah.
So yeah, we're constantly trying to do that, and we don't always get it right, but I think the core commonality is that we do want to get it right, and we're both very coachable most of the time.
Yeah, we are.
Once you flick that little ego aside, we're both pretty coachable.
Well, because we're super similar in personalities.
Mm-hmm.
We have different things we're good at, and our strengths and our weaknesses. Mm-hmm. But on a personality test, we score super duper close.
I'm more introverted than him.
Yeah, but we're both we like the disc. Shocking. The disc test. There's we're both DIs. So.
We could probably put that in the description below, the disc test.
Disc test, cool.
It's super interesting. But yeah, Drew, how should we wrap this up?
I don't know. I think that was a good spot. I think really we got some stuff coming up. If you want a little more help, and again, sorry for my business, my voice is a little dealing with some congestion. If we could take the bass out of my voice a little bit, that'd be good. But check out the business assessment in the description below. It'll really help you kind of figure out what you need to do. If you want help with that, takes 5 minutes, and you can book a call from there if you want more help. We're getting a lot. I'm looking at some results now that we have on there. We're getting a lot of cool stuff coming in. Seems to be helping people. It's got a high conversion rate, which means people are finding it useful. And you can do it every so often. You can do the assessment. You do it again. Compare your score to make sure that you're growing.
So
it's free.
Out of the 100 people, let's say out of 100 people, how many people are opting in? Because we've gotten lots of
72
people taking it. So 72 people out of 100 people
are completing it and doing the whole thing, which is really high.
It. Yeah, which is awesome. Because like a good conversion would be what, like 20 people?
20 would be great.
Yeah.
This has got a 72% conversion rate.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
Wild.
So it means people liking it. They're digging it. So
yeah,
it's a free tool that we created, and hope you like it. It says average drop off is question 8. So if you make it past question 8,
you're doing pretty good, doing better than most.
They're in the top 15 percentile.
Yes, for sure.
So cool.
Well, we hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See ya.